Hey you guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Trinity. If you are new here, I do spirituality and lifestyle content, and if that interests you, you might as well go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. But if you are not new here, welcome back. So today we're back with another talk, but this time it's a tipsy talk. Yay. And to my right, I've got Lotus. Would you like to introduce yourself?
So I'm Lotus. I'm founder and director of Black Lotus Herbals. I work with psilocybin and other sacred plant medicines, and I make gourmet tea. So if you're interested in working with sacred plant medicine in any form, definitely hit me up.
And you're a Gemini.
Definitely Gemini. Gemini all day, all the way. So yeah.
I'm a Gemini as well, but okay. To my left we've got Joy.
What's up, y'all? My name is Joy. AKA Black Indigo. You can follow me on Instagram or Twitter at BLVKINDIGO. And I'm a creative, a stylist, photographer, all those great things, blogger and poet. So yeah, go follow me.
Yes, I'm very excited to have them here because this is going to be a dynamic conversation. Period. I feel like every time I bring a talk to my channel, it should have like different guests, you know, like different kinds of people from different walks of life so we can really spit y'all with some knowledge. So today we're going to talk about some frequently asked questions. Well, some questions that I got from doing a little Q&A on Instagram about like sexual health, birth control, intimacy, just everything that you couldn't really ask your mom and you definitely couldn't learn in sex education in middle school because it was trash, let's be honest. So we're going to get started in these questions, but first I wanted to ask I want each of us to talk about our own personal experiences with the sex education that we experienced in school.
Yeah.
So you want to go first, Joy?
I can go first. Sexual education honestly was trash in schools. Like I remember when they definitely had us like your parents signed like the paperwork so that you could actually like hear about sex, which was dumb in the first place. Like we all gonna hear about it anyways. And then you would kind of go in. They only talked about heterosexual sex. Like nobody really talked about any other types of sex that are had, like that may happen, that you may experience. So I feel like for me, it was all like, that didn't help me anyways, because all I learned was don't get pregnant, use a condom, and what STDs look like. And I feel like those aren't the most important pieces of sex. Like they're important, but that's not all that encompasses sex. So yeah, and then my mom was just like, don't have sex until you're married. Yeah. And I remember that was just a bad experience. So like, yeah, definitely big L's, for sure.
Yeah, my experience was very similar. For one, I don't understand why you got to get the permission slip signed by your parents to begin with. That seems like a scam to me. I mean, like, it sucks, but it's also like school not teaching us shit either. It sucks so bad because I remember I had this coach, our health teacher / gym coach, and she would be like, all right, ladies, we're going to have the sex talk today. You're going to put your questions in a piece of paper and put it in the box. And just to start off, know if a man ejaculates in a woman's mouth and she swallows it, she cannot get pregnant. So let's see what
she did not. You're lying.
Because people were being funny, and that was the main question. No, middle school was literally like Big Mouth. It's a true depiction. People were angry because they were like, they shouldn't show middle schoolers in this sexual of a scene, like a context. Yeah. But that's very much what an everyday middle school experience for me was like. Over sexualized. The girls are, like being harassed by boys every day. And then honestly, it was kind of like a competition. And it's like none of us know anything except for some people have been assaulted, so it's like they're going based off of that. And then there's other people who have discovered porn, and it's like none of us know what's going on.
Nobody knows what sex is.
For real. And it's like we've got these teachers just like, don't do it, but we're like, something about it is so enticing. Like, why won't you tell us what's enticing? Lotus, what was your experience like?
So first of all, I low-key feel like, maybe I'm just imagining, but I feel like I remember sex education like before middle school.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I feel like it.
Where did you grow up? In Tanzania?
No, in Racine, Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, between Milwaukee and Chicago. And it was like, I definitely, because I remember what school I was at. Maybe I'm just imagining, but I low-key feel like it was like, I don't know, 5th grade or something. Really? I don't know. Maybe I'm imagining, but yeah, it was definitely dry. It's funny. The biggest thing I remember from sex education was like them talking about wet dreams. I literally remember the video when they were like explaining to a guy that they might pee in the bed and like wet dreams
in the bed.
Literally, that's how they, and just this like feeling.
That's what happened. That's what happened.
No,
wet dreams. You know where they like, but it's not pee.
It's not pee though.
But you know, like they were like explaining it like
it's pee.
You might pee, yeah. And they're like, if you feel something wet, don't worry, you didn't pee in the bed. I feel like there was more of a focus for some reason. I remember more of a focus on, like, there was a difference between how they portrayed the guy's experience and the girl's experience. Mm-hmm. I do feel like with the guy, they portrayed it more as like, you know, a rite of passage into manhood, and like when it came to sex, like these natural feelings. And I think that when they talked about us as girls and just puberty, it was more in the lens of like, it wasn't as much as like pleasure and it being, you know, it was just more like they focused more on the period part, you know, and they just like, it was definitely about our bodies and growth and going through, but nothing truly about like
enjoyment.
Yeah. And so, but I just remember it being dry as hell. I definitely remember though, even back then, like you said, it was popping at school. Mm-hmm. Like we were doing our own sex education. It was definitely explorative. So at that time, I definitely don't remember it being a lot about oral sex. When I was in middle school, it was like the titty sucking phase. That was like a thing. Like niggas was like they was coming off of sucking titties and like sucking breasts, and breasts were like a thing. And so if you were like already your breasts were coming out, like that was it. You were all the niggas wanted you. So that's definitely what I remember. Wow. So yeah, I don't even feel like we were like talking about oral sex really at that time.
See, this right here is exactly why we need better sex education. I made a podcast episode about this and everything. I have been yelling this for so long. So guess what? I'm here to provide it to you. This video is sponsored by a company called Beducated. It is an online sex education course. They have so many different courses on their site, y'all. It's not even funny. I'm talking about everything from tantra, squirting, cunnilingus, fellatio, sexual healing even. Like, honestly, when I was looking at the catalog, I was very surprised at everything that they truly had up there, because it was things about sex education that I didn't even really consider when it came to truly learning about not just my body, but like my partner's body or just male bodies in general. It's very much for everybody, very inclusive, very much for women, and especially vagina owning people. I would truly recommend y'all get it. So many people hit me up with so many different kinds of questions, even when I don't, you know, post Q&As on my channel asking you guys specifically about it. Like, you guys hit me up with so many different questions about your self-worth and just about your partners and their self-worth and how it's affecting you. So I would truly recommend you guys get this subscription. In my personal experience, after I was doing a lot of the courses, I learned a lot about squirting. And I'm talking about this one because it was my favorite one in particular. I am a squirter, and for so long, I was so like kind of embarrassed by it. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know like where it came from in my body. I didn't know like what triggered it. Like I just felt so kind of weird about it, and I only shared it with like now really is when I'm starting to share it because I'm more comfortable in my situation. But it really answered a lot of questions that I had about squirting in itself. And the courses are so inviting. Like the people who are hosting the showcases, they've got these cool visuals. They've got great representations. Like there's clips of actual masturbation, and it's very much in a educational sense. It's not pornographic, it's not raunchy, it's very, very sensual and very appealing. So I truly recommend that you guys try out this website. You can try it for free for 1 day, or like I already know you guys are going to truly enjoy it. You can use my code for 70% off of the yearly pass. It only lasts for the next 48 hours, so I would truly recommend you guys go ahead, get on down there and see what it's about. Also report back to me because I really want to get an update. But other than that, let's get on to these questions. Super excited to answer these questions. Any tips on how to have more passionate sex? What would you as somebody who has transitioned from a touch me not to, you know, a more intimate lovemaker. What would you recommend?
Ooh, that's a great tip.
I would recommend one,
allowing for you and your partner to experience each other's bodies outside of sex. Because I think that that's really important to building intimacy, like getting to know each other's bodies, getting to like really understand each other's bodies outside of you just fucking, outside of you just having sex. Like I really do think that it's important to like love each other like intimately, like, you know, touch each other's bodies, experience each other's bodies, and also like connect before sex, because hopping right into sex, that can kind of take away from the passionate part of sex and the real deep intimacy that you want to feel. So really foreplay,
foreplay,
kissing,
even just like affirmations.
Affirmations.
Have you experienced that before?
I've done like some tantra before like sex. I've done like just holding like each other and like maybe even like implementing like music. Like these are all things that can really help to like connect and like bring each other closer, like deep breathing, like those things really do help. So I think all of those things. Also making eye contact, like good eye contact is really important. Like when experiencing intimacy, like something about connecting with another person, about looking in their eyes, just really takes it just that much deeper. So those are my advice.
I feel like through hearing y'all answer these questions is gonna make me realize like areas in my life where I've been having sex with the wrong people. Because you say eye contact. There was a time period where I didn't want to make eye contact with the people that I was having sex with. And it's like, I can't pinpoint the exact reason why. I do know that, you know what, never mind. They just weren't who I was supposed to be having sex with. Because with the person I'm intimate with now, I can look them dead in their face, like dead in their eyes, and really just like feel them, hold that connection, and truly experience something out of this world. Would we recommend sex on psychedelics? And what is our experience with that? You take it away.
As you know, I work with psychedelics. That is my profession. That's what I do. Completely different experience, not only on psychedelics, but after using and working with medicine. And most of the time when I say medicine, I'm referring specifically to psilocybin, which is the psychoactive compound in mushrooms or magic mushrooms. But even after having worked with that medicine, because you know, once you work with these medicines, they're in your body, like they become a part of your DNA. So it's not like you just take them and then that's it. But even after having worked with psilocybin, sex has never been really the same for me, and how I connect with people in general is never the same. It's definitely on an energetic level, but sex on psychedelics, you will never have anything better. Like I remember the first time, which was probably at this point a good 10 years ago, the first time I had sex on shrooms, and it really felt like our bodies were melting into one another. Like I could feel everything. Like I could feel him breathing. I could feel each part of his body. I could feel his consciousness, his existence. Like it was funny because we talked about a year ago randomly, and we brought that up because he knows about the work that I do now. He actually called me for like a consultation about working with shrooms, and he was like, I remember and it was just like out of this world. And so definitely recommend it. Definitely recommend it in an intentional setting too. Not just like partying and, you know, shrooming out and then just fucking whoever. But if you have a partner and you guys are considering taking your relationship to the next level or taking your sex to the next level, psilocybin is a bet. Even something as low as half a gram each, up to a gram each, can be an out of body experience, like amazing. But if you want to go up, I wouldn't do much more than 2 grams because you still want to be really present during the experience, but 100%.
When I did it, it was it's I don't think it's very describable in the English language, to be honest, because it's just like very like it's the most intimate. Like you ever cried because you feel so vulnerable with and not even like vulnerable like, oh, everybody's looking at me crying, but I mean like with a partner. Like if you, I don't want to say if you're not having sex like that, you shouldn't be doing it. But I want to say like you need to.
But basically you do.
It's like you need to experience that so that you can like with sexual situations going forward, you can be like either hell yes or hell no.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
So like after I experienced it, I literally was crying because I was like, yo, I feel so safe and so open, and I've never felt this before.
Yes.
And it's like I have been missing out on this, and like honestly, the little sadness came in, and here's where we talk about sexual healing a little bit. I was like, damn, like I felt like I had been sharing my body with the wrong people in the past. So it's like even through that experience, it was still healing. It's like full circle moment. Like even though it was a little sad, it was very healing to begin with, because it's like now at least I know how to move forward.
Yes.
So truly recommend.
I lost the pleasure of masturbating and I want to regain the pleasure again. Any ideas?
I want to go first.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to just give you guys a brief rundown of my masturbation history. I never learned with my fingers. I have a whole poem about this where I talk about I never masturbated with a finger. So my condition, my Bell's palsy, I was actively going to a doctor when I was like 11 to 12 trying to just get rid of it. Like I didn't like it. I was insecure about it. And while I was going to this hands, nose, and throat doctor, they gave me this device that is it's a facial vibrator, and you just massage it along the nerve endings and the muscles in your face. And I'm like 11. I'm fucking 12. Yeah, you know exactly what this shit is. So I had already knew about porn, right? And I had the vibrator for a little bit, a few months at that point, and I was just still massaging my face. But after a while, I was literally looking at it one day, and I was like, why do the women do that thing when they put something that vibrates down there? Like, what is that doing? And I did it. I really wish I could experience it for the first time. It just felt like my body just left, like my soul just left my body. Like, it was different, and I got addicted to that shit, okay? Like, it was crazy. And then this is kind of where we relate back to sex education, because I was doing it so much that, you know, after you masturbate, you kind of KO. Like, it's lights out. I would just throw the vibrator under my bed, and one time my mom found it, and she panicked. Like, she wasn't even like honestly, like if I found that my child was masturbating, I'm like, at least you're doing it like by yourself. Like I would want to talk to you about where you learned this from. But after, I was just like, I knew what porn was. I was in middle school. Who didn't know what porn was at that time? So, you know, it was kind of like a bigger deal than what it needed to be. She took it away, but I never like really learned with my finger. I only started learning with my finger after I dated this girl in college, and we talked more about that. And she was like, yeah, this is just how I do it. This is how I've always done it. So yes, and when it comes to masturbation, I feel like the vibrator kind of it served as like something that separated me from myself. Like, no shame on sex toys at all, because I have a lot of them, but after a while, like, I did not want that to be the only thing that I used, as well as I didn't want porn to be the only thing that could get me off. It's like, it's not healthy after a certain extent, especially if you're watching Ebony chick gets rammed outside on a freeway.
Even the narrative, it definitely is an industry that wasn't created by us for us.
It definitely took me a long time to like self-pleasure. Like, I feel like I didn't do that until probably like college. Like, I feel like I was like, okay, I'm comfortable with myself enough, comfortable with my own body enough to actually try this. I felt like a lot of times it just felt fake. Like, I would rather experience the intimacy with another person than me to pleasure myself. But I don't know if that comes from like just me not practicing being with myself enough, like intimately in that way, or if it was just like this is just not my MO. I don't know. There's some people that can really get off from like their thoughts.
You literally just read my mind.
I'm not one of those people. So I'm like, I need to experience this with another person for me to get the full experience of it. Like, I would rather just enjoy the sex.
Did you kind of see a correlation with you masturbating with yourself and you being more open to not being a touch me not, like being more?
Yes. I feel like practicing with myself definitely gave me like, it made me comfortable enough to be like allow another person to honestly like touch me and feel like me in that way. But I also feel like me being a touch me not came from my trauma. So like trying to relearn what it feels like to let another person, like, to say yes, like, to a person, and that be okay. Because I feel like that a lot of it was like I was saying no because like I felt like I hadn't had the ability to have autonomy over my own body. So when I finally was able to have autonomy over my own body, it was always like no. Like no. But then I got to the place where it was like, okay, I want to experience intimacy. I want to experience these things. So I have to be able to, like, release the fear of, like, it just being tied to, like, another person gaining control over me and my body. Because once I was able to release some of that fear, then I was able to, like, loosen up enough to let another person, like, have me vulnerable in that way.
Can I add a short tidbit on this question?
Yeah.
Okay, because this is extremely good, and I'm just so grateful for this discussion. I would say, and this is speaking more directly to the person that asked the question, definitely explore your body. If you're feeling like you've lost that, you know, the ability to create pleasure, there's so many different ways, and I'm not sure if you have a vagina or not, or what your situation is, but I know that even with me, I've discovered new ways. So at least, you know, there's at least 4 different areas I target in different ways. So there's, like, I can say as a person who has a vagina, there's definitely clitoral stimulation, both with hand or toy. There's G-spot stimulation for sure, which I've discovered more ways to do that with my own hand, but definitely easier to hit with a toy. I get sometimes a lot of pleasure from, like, open hand grabbing and massaging my vagina versus, like, a pinpoint. So there's a certain amount of pleasure that I've been able to cultivate from just, like, open hand, like, holding, grabbing, and just touching in general. And I think that has come more with spiritual growth and just, like, a certain amount of comfortability in knowing my body and exploring my body. So one thing I will say, and I know we'll talk more about spirituality and sex later, but I have reached a point, you know, where I can definitely orgasm without touching myself at all. And being able to tap into that type of energy has come with, like, knowing my body and cultivating that pleasure first in my body. And so I would just say that be very open into ways that you may receive pleasure outside of what you've seen or have been taught or have done previously. So being explorative, trying different methods, touching yourself in all different ways, your asshole, whatever, and just allowing yourself to go there energetically and spiritually may be some ways to help you regain the ability. No shame. Ooh, that part. That part, be freaky, hump your fucking pillow, whatever you need to do. Right. Like, yes, dead ass. Yes. Like, so intimacy between a man versus a woman.
Yeah, intimacy between a man versus a woman. Because there was a few people that were like, do you feel the difference between being intimate with a man and a woman?
Yes.
Or there was another one just asking, like, what is the difference between, like, being man with, what is the difference between being sexual and intimacy between a man and a woman? So I think there's a few people that ask the same questions, so maybe we should answer that one.
And you've had experiences with men.
Yeah. I mean I was telling Trinity, I was like, I had gotten to the place in my life where, like, my mom was like, yeah, like, I don't know, I don't understand, like, and I was like, okay, like, maybe I should try this shit again. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm not really gay. Who knows? I don't know myself clearly, but I had tried to be intimate with a man again after, like, years of never even talking to a nigga, never trying to be with a nigga, never trying to do anything. Mostly because I was thinking, like, okay, maybe my experience with me choosing this person, like, will change my feelings about being with a man. And it didn't, because I'm gay. So, like, everything was really awkward. I just dapped dude up. I was like, yeah, can you go home? And that was really the end of that experience. I was like, he was like,
you don't want to cuddle, like nothing. Now, granted, there was no penetration involved, nothing. I just ended up getting head, and the head was good, but I was like, you know, I can get head from a man, I can get head from a woman, so this is not really, head is not going to be the main factor, the main dish. I didn't really see the point. It just didn't do anything for me. After that, my pussy was dry. I was just like, damn, that's crazy.
They hyped this shit up for no
reason. They hyped this shit up for no reason. Right. I was like, yeah, no. I know what I like, and I just know that I like women. That just is what it is. But I'm glad that I allowed myself to have that experience, so I could be like, yeah, hell nah. Like, even at my grown age, I'm like, yeah, I know what I like, and it just wasn't that. Men are attractive. For some people, that is what they need. They need a little bit of penetration. They want to be cream pies. It's not me. It's not me. Yeah, the intimacy is definitely different. I definitely think men are definitely like
more robotic.
They are. They're just going through the motions, mostly for pleasure.
And because of toxic masculinity.
Yeah, and because they feel forced. Yeah. They feel forced to dominate and to be these people. So a lot of them won't allow for themselves to even be submissive or to experience intimacy on like a true level.
Ooh, I definitely
like that does not look like
I don't know. That's me. But there are a lot. But I don't know. Maybe it's after years of like years of going through the motions of sex, because I feel like after a while you do want to experience a deeper intimacy.
True that.
Because it's like, oh damn, I've been jacking off for 10 years and I've been like, you know, ramming into women for 10 years. Like, there has to be something deeper than this that I have missed. And like, once they get to the core and root of one, sometimes their own healings from their own trauma, their own feelings about themselves, about what it looks like to have sex, what it looks like to be with a woman, the type of woman that they are looking to be with, then they're able to get past that point and really experience deep intimacy. But I feel like for women, it's just like, women naturally gravitate towards intimacy, so it's like absolutely. When you're experiencing these things with women, it's usually just like deeper connections. Like, they want to experience this deep intimacy with you most of the time. So it's not really surface level, and I can appreciate that. I can appreciate the deeper intimacy, but it does cut a little bit deeper when things happen. It hurts a little bit harder because you've experienced these deep intimacies with this person, and now you're detaching from them. Now you guys have exchanged energy, so I mean, I guess it's give and take.
My experience has been very much both sides. I have been with men a lot, and and I have been with women a lot, for real. With women a lot, I guess. I don't think I've had any situation with a man that came anywhere near my situations with women. Like, my interactions with women, my dates even with women, the love we make with women, like, it's just so different. And the person that I was on shrooms with, I did shrooms with a guy and a girl, and it was different. Like, it felt great, but at the end, like, the guy it was with was not in alignment. I truly felt the difference at that point in time, because with the men that I have been with, it has been very robotic and very obvious that society, my people, my family, the friends I have not allowed me to be as open and honest with myself, my self-identity, the way that I would like to dress, talk, walk, you know, really experience this world. It has not been very open and honest. And they bring that into the sheets. And for me, I'm an empath. I am a projector. Like, I'm very open with all of my energy channels. So it's just like, I suck things up like a sponge, and the Libra moon. Let's not forget about the Libra moon. So it's like, I feel everything, like, no matter what. And remember the guy that I told you about when we went all out to dinner at Joe's on Juniper?
Yes.
He had this semen retention for a long time. I don't know how long, but the second he entered me, he nutted all over the place. It was terrible. There was no foreplay. It was just, let me put my penis in you. Like,
that's different.
It was, and I was like, how? It's like you're spiritual, but it's like, how out of touch must you be with yourself for you to see
and
me?
That's what it is. Out of touch with himself.
Yes, and I knew what it was for what it exactly was, and it irritated me so bad because we came around again like a week or two later, and he lasted longer, but it was still like a soulless machine. It was like interacting with him, I could see his aura. His aura was always gray. Only in some aspects would it really show out to me and be like in the morning when he would kind of be like in and out of sleep, like he would like move and like pull me in like really close. Like I could feel his deep desire for wanting an intimate connection, but like in his waking conscious life he would not allow himself to have that. And so that is literally the reason I stopped talking to him, because it was just so insane. And at that point he was the first dude I had fucked with since I had like in years, for one, and since I had became more aware and spiritual and just connected with my overall being. But like just for me to experience that, I just like immediately just knew exactly what the fuck was going on in him, and it irritated me so bad because I'm like, how do you portray yourself to be one thing but you can't even do this simple task? Like you can't even open yourself up to me. Like you wouldn't be in my room, in my house, in my sheets if you didn't know that I wasn't a good person. That whole situation irritated me. So
there was definitely some heavy blockages. Definitely probably trauma, of course.
And you know his signs. He was a Aries moon, a Leo sun, and a Sagittarius rising.
Really? Oh my God.
That's so hectic.
It's a lot.
No, it was a lot to deal with. So yeah, men and women are inherently different. That's why I truly recommend you know yourself. That way you can know other people when navigating any kind of relationship, whether it's casual sex, a partnership, marriage, whatever. Just know yourself so you can know others, and honestly have boundaries.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, have
respect
boundaries.
your boundaries.
I will say one thing. As a person who recently hit the 3-0, I've been having sex for going on 15 years. There's definitely a progression. So just letting you guys know, whatever experiences you have, don't give up. There's definitely progression, because guys when I was 15 and guys when I was in early 20s, definitely robotic, definitely detached, definitely like a lack of intimacy. Guys recently, and I say over the last couple of years, I've noticed a difference, and this has come both with my growth and what I'm attracting and the environments that I'm in and the level and quality of men that I'm dealing with, you know, versus what I was dealing with at 19, 21, 15, even 24, as well as men themselves who are older and who have grown spiritually. And I think just that, like even the men, like, so I have a partner now who's a man, very strong divine feminine energy, really in tune with his divine feminine energy. Like, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, my partner's the shit, like on an energetic level, like dope as fuck, extremely open, extremely understanding, in tune with his body, loves himself. I mean, just amazing, right? I haven't had as much sex or as much intimacy with women, but I can say that it's really hard to compete with that energy, and probably only my partner now is like the closest thing like that I've ever come to as far as the level of like energetic connection. But I will say again, just in general, over the past couple of years, what I've experienced with men is a lot different than what I experienced 10 years ago. It does change, and like you'll notice, like, just again the quality. And it probably is like you said too, men after spending so much time just ramming into shit are like, I want more. Because, and there's another question, I think this is linked, I was thinking about it as you were talking. She asked about, when does it become about women's pleasure? Is it always, why is it always women expected to give pleasure to men? When does it become about women's? That was another thing I think that goes hand in hand with the level of intimacy. Because I know now that the sex that I've had with men and the intimacy or situation I've had with men, my pleasure is a priority. Because I make it a priority, But also now I notice that I attract men who make it a priority,
Yeah.
like off bat,
Yeah.
and who are like not satisfied, like men who will hold it, who don't want, like it, they can't be satisfied without satisfying me. And I noticed that was something different, because I remember being young and feeling like I was just like a fucking sperm bucket, you know, like I was just like, what the fuck, you know. But also I was settling for that. So that's another thing I will say, again, with knowing your boundaries, knowing yourself, know what you want, have an idea of what you want to feel and what it is that you're looking for, because whatever that is, like whatever energy you put out there, we all know that's what you're going to attract.
And I also feel like being in touch with, I know you said something about like your partner now being in touch with like his divine feminine energy. That's so important, because I think men definitely try to negate their divine feminine energy often because of their hyper masculinity, and it puts blockages on their ability to be able to connect intimately.
That part. Yes.
So one, and also there's women who want these hyper masculine men. So oftentimes you have to understand, like, maybe you need to watch your energy and the things that you're attracting, because if you're looking for a hyper masculine man, if you're looking for somebody, those are the things that may come along with that.
Absolutely.
So maybe opening up yourself to like even men that are in touch with themselves and know who they are.
Have y'all ever been to a sex club?
I haven't.
So not like a dedicated building, but I've definitely been involved in group sex, orgies, group partnerships where we did different things, and there was a space that one person held, which was basically like a sex club. I mean, that's what we would gather. We had different like parties, groups, and some of it was it was a lot of the same 6 to 8 people, but then there would be others, and sometimes we'd actually have parties, and so
How did you find those spaces? Because well, for one, I've gone to a sex club. I went to Tokyo Valentino, and
you consider that a sex club?
It was the only experience that I've had, but it was very
define
different.
What you mean. What defines sex club?
When I think of a sex club, I think of what is it called, Trampies, the one in Atlanta. That's like people. Well, I haven't been there, but from what I see from like videos, like people walking around like having sex on the couch, like it's just like kind of like a wide open space.
Okay,
But where do you find like orgies? Like,
well, so I definitely think it's just like spaces that you're in. So, you know, I can say now, especially, I'm really into like Atlanta actually has a really dope Black kink community, Black fetish community, Black sex positive community, and stay tuned, because some friends and I are actually going to be starting to host like a series of events centered around similar, and there's already events if you connect, like if once you get in, you just kind of start connecting, but I can't really say where. I feel like we were the ones who started. It's not like we really found the orgies, because I was involved and around people I knew who were just really open. Especially between like 19 to 22, 19 to 23. I was just happened to be around people who were really open, and so what it's like, it was really dope. You know, I mean, it's being in a space where you can have both if you're into that, the pleasure of men and women at the same time, 2 minutes, you know, just being open, just being whatever practice that was in, like, and then we were really intentional with like cleanliness and just like had these it was just, I felt really safe in the spaces that I was in, which was really dope, and I think that helped me. I think that was the time that really helped me to be more explorative, like to know my own body. The first time I squirted, like that I knew, like someone made me squirt and I was like a part of the process and watched it and was in it, was like in that environment, and just in being able to watch. So that was cool too, versus porn, like being able to fit, you know, because porn, no matter what, it's scripted. Like porn is a show for the most part. You can get that raw stuff we were talking about, like videos with your phone and all that shit. We'll watch those ones, but at the end of the day, it's still like a setup. So there's nothing like being in a space and literally watching people right there having sex. Someone getting hit right there, someone getting hit, you get hit. It's like, it's dope as fuck.
A lot of people ask, what are natural birth control methods? And they want to know also about like our personal experiences with birth control, but let's first recommend some really good products. Yeah.
I would say, so I haven't used too many, like herbal. I haven't practiced with herbal birth control methods. There's one very specific one that I know about off the bat, and it's pennyroyal. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Actually, there's two, I believe. Pennyroyal, and I think lady's mantle is sometimes used as a herbal contraceptive. But pennyroyal, you have to be very careful about the amount you take, because I think in extreme amounts it can be toxic. And then others like mugwort, though it's known more as an abortion, used for abortion, it also, I've heard, can be effective in preventing pregnancies in the first place, or even used kind of like Plan B when pregnancy is at a very, like within the first couple of days of pregnancy. So making that into a tea, drinking like twice per day for a couple of days initially. But that's as far as I know. So I'm not big in that area.
Well, you said you hadn't been on birth control before?
I have not. The only birth control I ever used was the pill, very briefly, because I have like really bad periods and menstrual. I used to go through like heavy menstrual, and
So like, what do you do now? Because you say you used to, and I still be struggling.
Periods, you know, a lot. So there's so much with periods. So I'll tell you about what helped me. But that was the only time I was on birth control, very briefly. Twice. I attempted it twice. One was like when I was maybe 15 or 16. Then one was like 2015. So just like 5-6 years ago, and just didn't stay on because I always had this, like, for me, so it did help in 2015, like I remember it helped, but I just always felt really weird. As much as I'm like whatever, I always just felt like something that stopped a process that's so crucial to my body and that my body was designed to do just couldn't be right. And even at that time, I remember so many stories from different women, different girls who had like problems using birth control, problems after gaining weight. I remember that was a big thing. I was like, I ain't gaining no weight. At that time, I wasn't even as big as I am now, but I was thick, and I was like, I'm not gaining no weight. Fuck this birth control, you know. But just hearing these different things, and I just thought like so much about this is literally my body was designed to do this. Stopping this just did not fucking seem right, or altering this. But what I've done since then, now there's definitely a lot of herbs that help with like heavy menstrual periods. Black cohosh, blue cohosh, lady's mantle. Oh my God, there's so many. Like I have a blend for that, a steaming blend, a tea.
Like yoni steam or?
Yeah, yoni steaming blend and a tea. Okay. I do steams. I have steam seats and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, something I do. But yeah, I've done that. Definitely diet. I think just overall throughout the years, like paying so much attention to that, doing natural things, like has been the result of now, like, and I'll say that regular sex, when I'm having sex more regularly, and like orgasming regularly, I notice a decrease in like heavier periods. So I don't know, you know, that's definitely something to
related. Definitely related.
So
that's such a
the release.
Yeah, I love that.
I was on the pill. It was good for the cramps, because I have like really severe cramps. I throw up on my period, so like all in all, it's just like a bad experience every month, and I was tired of like not being able to live my life every single day because my periods would literally stop me from living my life. Yeah, I know. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get on birth control. I tried it at the very beginning. My issue was withdrawing from birth control. I got really, really, really depressed. And this is not the first time I heard this, because one of my friends was on a different type of birth control, but they also experienced the same thing. So like I experienced really extremely low lows on that birth control. And so finally I got off of it and I was feeling better. And I stayed off of it for a long time, but when I came back, like recently, like probably like a few months, maybe like a year ago, I got back on birth control because, again, I was like just trying to work. I had started experiencing really bad cramps again, and I was like, okay, I need to be able to do something about this. So they put me on a different birth control. I think this one was Junelle. It was still the pill. It was called Junelle, but this one, it made my like libido, like it just made me really, really dry. And I don't like that, because when I'm having sex, like I can't, it doesn't, like,
and that is
made
not
it
the sign.
unpleasurable.
No, yeah.
Like it made it so unpleasurable, and like that was the only thing that really, really, really upset me, because it was like, okay, I'm not experiencing depression, I'm not experiencing really high lows, but like now I can't experience sex in the same way because I'm so dry, and I feel like my body is still trying to recover from that. Like I haven't had the same lubrication since, like unless I'm ovulating. So it's like I want to experience. I have to like recover. I feel like I need to take herbs and
a
pills.
wet pussy is a healthy pussy. Yeah. Like seriously.
So like, I'm like, there's something going on. Like I don't know what to do now, because it's like that threw my balance off, and that
let's talk.
That also like that caused my sex life to just be like, this is low key uncomfortable, because like I'm not experiencing the same lubrication as I'm.
Oh, distant fireworks! I was telling you about.
Tips for your first experience with a female after only being with men. Yes.
Bro, it's going to be a great experience. I'm going to just tell you that right now. It's going to be great.
Mostly
just be yourself and be open.
Do everything. Touch the full body. Touch your body. Find like that's okay. That's a good one. Hold on.
I love sex.
Can we do? Okay. How about this? Let's just spice it up real quick. I'm gonna randomly pick a question for each of you, and then you pick me, and you got like 30 seconds. Like we just gonna do shotgun style to kind of get some popping. Okay. Bet. Foreplay or sex? I feel like both are very different in its own way and depends on how it goes. Foreplay or sex? 30 seconds. Go.
Foreplay. I'm gonna say foreplay because foreplay gets the ground running. You can come from foreplay. If you do foreplay the right way, it also is a way to lead to like mind intimacy, and I'd rather be mind fucked than just body fucked. So I'm gonna say foreplay.
That's nice.
Okay, you. Have you used dildos with your male partners? Not on them, but with your male partners.
I have never used a dildo with a male partner. Honestly, the men I have had intimacy with, it has not been in alignment, and going forward, I'm definitely going to get a lot better with that. But I feel like the men that I've had sex with, one of them actually seen one of my dildos a little propped up on the shelf because I do not hide my shit, and he was literally like, yeah, when I seen it and we were having sex, I kind of got a little insecure. So I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking the wrong niggas, bro.
Period. Okay, cool. Here's another one. I'll answer this one. The nastiest thing a person's done during, after a sexual encounter that made you regret. Regret. Nastiest thing. I don't really think there's been that nasty. I can say I don't like being kissed after someone. I don't like being kissed after head. Personally, that's just not a big thing for me. I don't. I don't. Where would be a good place to show somewhere and where to start when giving you head?
The thighs. The inner thighs.
Okay.
I like kissing around the whole area to get somebody excited, licking it, giving it hickeys, caressing here it goes. Okay, caressing, like, you know when like someone's thighs are like around you and you just like caressing this part, like this shit is nice. Oh my god. Yes. I love it. That's a great place to start.
Okay.
Foreplay pretty much.
You, what are your top 2 kinks?
I like my nipples being played with, and I like people whispering in my ear.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever come off getting their nipple sucked?
Me.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm one of the I can have a nipple-gasm.
Have you ever manifested with masturbation before?
Yes.
Absolutely. Every time I masturbate now. Every time. I literally am like, especially if there's something coming up, a move I'm trying to make, money. Usually it's about like money. I'd be like, I'm about to get this bag. I'm a boss bitch. I'd be like pumping my. Oh yeah.
How do you? So you just repeat affirmations while you do it?
No, so it's kind of like a build up.
Okay.
Like it's kind of like a. So it is. It's the affirmations, but it's a build up. So what I do is like. It's definitely, so I'm very visually stimulated. Okay. That's probably why I can like do, that's why Tantra comes so easily, spiritual, very visually stimulated. So I can create very lucid visions. And so as I'm masturbating, I'm definitely envisioning myself doing something, things that make me happy, like spending money, doing things, making moves. And I'll envision myself looking bomb as fuck. Sometimes I envision myself masturbating, like from the outside. And as I'm peaking, like I increase the vision of whatever it is that I'm trying to manifest. So if it is just manifesting a certain deal or like manifesting my trip whatever. Like, I'm really envisioning that, smelling that. I'm using tips of manifestation, but then also speaking verbally. Sometimes it's just myself. Like, sometimes it is a lot of verbal, like, I'm bad as fuck. Like, like, literally. So, definitely manifestation, masturbation. I don't really, honestly, and it was just recently that I acknowledged, like, I noticed that now every time I masturbate, I'm doing that. Like, I'm affirming and ministering, and I think it definitely is effective.
Joy.
How hairy is too hairy down there?
Honestly, I prefer my coochie trimmed, but like I don't mind a little hair on the coochie. Like, spice it up. Add a little salt and pepper.
A little design.
Actually, that was the first girl who ever gave me head too. She was dope.
Oh, yeah.
Freak.
Yeah.
Shout out to Freak. She was dope. Like, she actually empowered me a lot. Like,
right.
She's amazing. She used to tell me, oh my God, your coochie is so beautiful. And before that, so I'm going to be, moment of transparency, totally unrelated. I've had, and this is, though I remember even at a young age, like, having experiences, being attracted to women. Women were attracted to me a lot before I was attracted to them. I was like a super tomboy. I hung with all the dope boys, and I had a lot of women at me. Like, I used to also low-key gotta be a pimp, which I feel like I've had to heal through that too, because I've had I've had issues with like my feelings towards women, and so I think I took that out on the women who were attracted to me. But so first time I've been intimate with a woman, I remember we were playing around, making out, sucked her titties, it was lit, she had a big booty, it was lit. I got down, like, the first time, like, I seen a vagina from this angle, like, right in front of me, it was the most disgusting thing. Like, I could not. I could not. And I remember she was so upset. She just kept trying to, like, force it, like, put it in my face, and I, like, had to push her away. And I felt she was gorgeous. I loved her. She was dope. That was my friend, too.
Yeah. That'd be the hardest part.
I didn't know how to deal with that. It just from this angle.
I'm not gonna lie. The first time I gave head, I was like, this is the worst experience of my life. I swore I would never eat coochie again.
I couldn't,
But after that experience, then I was able to appreciate the vagina for what it is. It took a while.
Wait, did it look disfigured?
No, I just never looked at, like, a real vagina in front of me from that angle, and just had never really navigated it. It just was unappealing. Like, and it was clean. She's beautiful, clean. She was bald. Yeah. Now that I have a more appreciation, but I remember at that point in time, it was just like, that wasn't it. Do you believe in body counts or no?
Hell, no. Like, I don't really know why it matters. I think the only reason you should keep track is for health purposes. Like, that's really it. I cannot tell you how many people I've had sex with. I've lost my list a lot of times. I don't
That's lit.
Yeah.
That's lit.
Yeah.
Protect yourself.
Definitely agree on that. Definitely agree on that.
Get tested. Stay safe.
Last question, and just because I've passed this like 50 times and I keep being called to it, how do I get more comfortable with my lady parts? And it's funny because we were just joking and talking about that. So for me, definitely, I think that being really explorative. And so I remember when I first read this, I was asking you guys, like, what do we think this person means? And what do they mean by get more comfortable? So I'm going to assume maybe touching, playing with it, looking at it. So I spend a lot of time in the mirror. I take videos of myself. I record myself. I take pictures. I take videos of myself masturbating. Then I watch it.
Yes.
I look at other people's vaginas. And then through watching porn. So just really being open, being no shame, having no expectations. There are millions of different shapes, sizes, arrangements of vaginas.
And don't be ashamed of what yours looks like.
Absolutely.
Like, everybody's vagina is going to look different.
Absolutely.
Like, if you got little hair bumps, like, it's okay. Yes. Like, don't be ashamed.
Yes.
Because I think for mine, like, for a long time, I was like, damn, I got hair bumps. Like, because I've been shaving my whole life. And, like, nobody told you about all the other options and things like that. So, like, scarring, those things are normal. So just don't be ashamed. Just get comfortable with your own skin. Get comfortable with yourself. Look at it
and play with it.
It's yours.
Record yourself. That hyped me up so good. That is really why
yourself up.
I just want to like release all of my videos because they're just so good. Like Affirm your cookies.
Sign up for the OnlyFans.
So I really hope that y'all enjoyed this video. Please give a round of applause for Lotus and a round of applause for Joy for being here. Triple Gemini gang. Can we all clink before we end the video?
Yes, absolutely.
Most definitely. I barely got anything in my cup, but
yes. To being horny free, whatever dragons.
Slut dragons. You remember to subscribe to Beducated and use my discount code and my link. It is in the description box down below. And please update me on what you guys think about the service. It's dope. We all love it. We can all vouch for it.
Yes.
So be sure to check them out, and you guys will see me in the next video.
Peace.
Like, I'm reading this book right now. It's called Do Nothing, but basically it's literally about the origin of how we have really been brainwashed and manipulated into believing that our only like self-worth relies in the things that we can do.